call the School Innovation and Turnaround Committee to order, please. Can I get a roll call?
Yes, Dr. Bopey. Dr. Bopey is not present. Mr. Castile.
Here.
Castile is present. Dr. Davis.
Here.
Dr. Davis is present. Ms. Ellis. Ms. Ellis is not present. Mr. Garvey.
Here.
Mr. Garvey is present. Ms. Holloway. Ms. Holloway is not present. Mr. Mellarine. Mr. Mellarine is not present. Mr. Morris.
Here.
Mr. Morris is present. Ms. Orange Jones.
Here.
Ms. Orange Jones is present. Mr. Rock. Mr. Rock is present. Ms. Gauthier.
Here.
Ms. Gauthier is present, and you have a quorum.
Thank you. First item, please.
First item is on page 1, item 2.1, consideration of a report on types 2, 4, and 5 charter contracts and request for amendments. The recommendation is to approve as outlined.
Can I get a motion? So moved. Mr. Bellerin, and second. Mr. Garvey, thank you. Superintendent, do we have anything? Nothing here. We have some public comments. Looks like everyone would like to speak, so please come down to the table. Mr. Gene Thibodeau, followed by Dr. Pamela Povido. On deck, we have Laurent Bass and Rebecca Bonio.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, please identify yourself.
Good afternoon, members of this committee. This
Turn
morning.
your mic on.
Okay. There we go. Good afternoon, and thanks for the pleasure of addressing this board and this committee. I'm Chief Thibodeau, Lake Charles, and I'm president of the Board of Trustees of Lake Charles Charter Academy Foundation. Lake Charles Academy Foundation, there are three charters, and all three charters have been merged under the aegis of Lake Charles Charter Academy Foundation. We have three charter schools in Lake Charles, two pre-K through 8, 3 miles apart, and one high school, Lake Charles College Prep, which is down the street from one of our charter schools. And we have an aggregate population of approximately 2,300 students. And with me today are a couple of board members, Laurent Bass, who was our first principal at Southwest Charter Academy and one of the principals at Lake Charles College Prep. She decided to move on to the market placement field, which she would earn more money, but she's on our board. The other is Rebecca Bonio, whose husband was a charter board member several years ago. She's been very active in providing scholarships, 5 scholarships to McNeese, 5 scholarships to Sorellum each year, and also in individuals who fund, if teachers can afford it, we pay ourselves the board from private funds certification. We're proud, we have a very active board. Also with me are 2 other individuals, Dr. Pam Povido, who was the first hire at Lake Charles Charter Academy, and now she's the superintendent of our 3 schools in Lake Charles. And Saber Kingham, who has a fancy title, Director of Strategic Initiatives. And we're here asking that you approve the material amendment that we have submitted. And that material amendment is to allow Charter Schools USA to manage the Lake Charles College Prep, 9 through 12 schools. Charter Schools USA president manages Lake Charles Charter Academy, our first school, and also Southwest Louisiana Charter Academy. We agree with the recommendation of Louisiana Department of Education, and the board has previously consolidated all 3 charters under Lake Charles College, Lake Charles Charter Academy. What we seek to do is establish a K through 12 program, such that all of the programs at the pre-K through 8 level are coordinated, and there is a relationship between a high school and our 2 pre-K through 8 schools. To us, it doesn't make any sense to have 2 schools 3 miles apart competing with the same students. And so this is the second step. The first step was to merge all charters under one corporate entity. The next is to align the management company at all 3 schools. We're in somewhat of a different position than other charter schools in that the 2 charter nonprofit academies on the land and on the schools on which sits on those lands. We have 30 acres of property, 3 brand new schools, and we have to have a succession plan. What do we do when these bonds are retired in about 20 years? We have about $70 million in assets. So somebody needs to decide what to do with that. I won't be around. I want to be on the board anyway, but we've got to think about the long-range implications. And so we're here to answer any questions that the board and this committee may have.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Dr. Povido.
Yes, good afternoon. I am Leanne Povido. I was the first principal of Lake Charles, the first charter school in Lake Charles, and have been an employee of Charter Schools USA. Was principal for 10.5 years and moved into the position of deputy director with a charge from our board of aligning our 3 schools into one K-12 system. 2 of our schools, the K-8 schools Judge referred to, pre-K-8 schools, compete for the same population. They are 2.5 miles apart. And so we found that one school was always leading the other in terms of enrollment, and the second school was the one that they couldn't get into Lake Charles Charter Academy parents, which is Southwest Charter, and almost an unfair disadvantage for the 2 schools. And so the vision of the board was to take, and this will be our next request within the coming year, of making one of the schools a K-4 school and the second school a 5-8, so that we're feeding into one pipeline. And then after the 5-8 is the 9-12 Lake Charles College Prep, which we are asking today that this come back under management of Charter Schools USA, so that we can have a seamless alignment and this vision can come to fruition. So. And again, like Judge said, I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
Dr. Davis.
Can somebody explain to me, I know that this is the school that was formerly under management by Charter Schools USA, and the department, I think it was as a condition of renewal, required that they have a new management organization. So what was the rationale back then for making them change operators?
Yeah, back in December of 2017, Dr. Davis, Bessie recommended that we change management structure because of the performance for the past 3 years. Lake Charles. Thank you. Charter Schools USA managed Lake Charles College Prep in 24. We opened in 2014 with the 9th grade, 110 kids. Then we expanded the next year to 10th grade. And we expanded to the next year to the 11th grade. All of those 3 grades were under the management of Charter Schools USA. Quite frankly, we were told and advised by them not to open the school with 110 kids. We didn't listen because we wanted to make certain that those kids who were transitioning out of our pre-K through pre-K-8 through high school had the same advantages that other kids had. Why send them back to the same system that we thought were not, system that was not actually properly educating these kids? You have to understand, you had, at that time, 5 factors to grade high school and to get an SPS score. But we didn't have a graduation rate. We only had 3 grades. We did not have our ACT scores. And so we got 0 for that. So S4 was not unexpected. We aligned ourselves with McEast University, not for management, but to provide certain things that the board wanted. Dual enrollment, professional development, teacher recruitment, teacher retention, and teacher certification. And we still have that relationship with McEast State University. Over the years, our relationship we've been associated since 2010, August 3rd, 2010. And we've had our differences. I'll be the first to admit that we've had our differences, but anytime we've had our differences, we were able to resolve them. We had a difference over the business model. We wanted to own our schools. We wanted to own the land. You did that. We had a difference over NWEA. Tier 3 or Tier 1, we wanted to get rid of NWEA. We did that. We had a discussion over the fee. We wanted a performance-based fee. We got that. We wanted to make sure that we had a voice in selecting the principal and the assistant principal. We got that. We have a very active board that's been there since we've had a few more in the past year or so. And so we expected Dr. Davis that low score. It was not a surprise to us. And the board's primary concern then, as it is now, tell me about the assessment index. Tell me about the ACT index. So I think it's a little unfair to say that they did not perform because we got 0 on graduation rate, we only had 3 grades, and we had 0 on ACT scores. And we understand that. And we understand the concerns that some of the board members may have about this.
I mean, it's never made sense to me that we gave schools zeros for ACTs when they didn't have graduating classes. Like we've had schools in EDR that have had that problem as well. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So one other question. So right now, whoever was operating Lake Charles College Prep, they're a B letter grade. Can you tell me what the letter grades are for Lake Charles Charter Academy and Southwest Louisiana Charter Academy that are run by Charter Schools USA?
Certainly, Dr. Povido.
Lake Charles Charter Academy this past year was a 74.1, which was 9/10 of a point away from a B. Southwest Charter Academy was, I don't remember the exact number, it was a D, it was 2 points away from becoming a C. We have projected that Southwest Charter will be a C this year, and we're expecting that Lake Charles Charter Academy will be a B. And you do, I do need to not remind everyone that the school performance score configuration for high schools is very different than for our K through 8 schools. And so, you're comparing our feeder schools into the high school, which is part, when we sit here and think of strategy as an organization, when you have an aligned system and you have all these factors that come into play, it strengthens who you are as a school system. So we've made good progress with our K-8 schools.
I think K through 8, I think the assessment index accounts for like 65% of the grade, as opposed to the high school level, the assessment index accounts for like 12.5% of the entire SPS score.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Doctor. We've got Ms. Laurent Bass and Rebecca Bonnier next, please.
First principal of our pre-K through 8 at Southwest.
Hi, I'm Laurent Bass, and as Judge said, I was the principal of Southwest Louisiana Charter Academy and principal for a short time with Lake Charles College Prep as when we had just the freshman group, freshmen and sophomores. Speaking on behalf of Charter Schools USA, managing Lake Charles College Prep, I think would be a great idea for alignment, as well as they were very focused and driven with intention when looking at the advancement of the students and the teachers. I enjoyed working for CSUSA and felt many times when I went to them for items that I needed, whether it was curriculum items or additional staffing, that I was definitely heard, and as long as I could justify why I needed what I was requesting, I was more oftentimes than not given with the request. Do you guys have any other questions?
Thank you.
I'm Rebecca Bonnier. I'm the vice president of our board. I have been a part of this board since the beginning because my husband was a board member for the first 5 years, and I have been a board member for the past 6 years. And so what I have seen is this is a very strong board. It is a very engaged board. It is all professionals in the Calcasieu community area. It has been a very stable board. It has made decisions along the way that have been very important for the life of this school. A huge decision has been that we own our land and we own our buildings, and that has given us as a board a lot of strength. And then we have come along and consistently over the years considered who are we going to hire to manage. And so that was a board decision from the beginning, and interviewed and looked into that. Over the years, they have made decisions about and thinking about, are we going to continue the management company we have when the contract is up, or are we going to look at other opportunities? And we have looked into all types of other opportunities, and we feel as a strong board 100% that we have made the right choice to align our schools, and that we have made the right choice to come to you and ask you to allow us to put all of our grades under the same management company for the stability of our educational system in Lake Charles. Can I answer any questions?
Thank you. And we have last card here for Mr. Gary McGowan.
I'll wait my comments, they've covered everything, I'm available for questions if it would be appropriate.
Thank you, sir. So the motion is to approve. No opposition, motion passes. Next item, please.
Your next item is on page 23, item 2.2, consideration of an update report regarding the transportation waiver request submitted by Louisiana Key Academy Cato. The recommendation is to receive.
Motion, Mr. Garvey, second, Mr. Miller.
Yeah, Mr. Day can provide updates for the board.
Sure.
Good afternoon. The item before us right now is an update report regarding the transportation waiver that the department has already granted to LA Key Cato. Bulletin 126 outlines the process by which schools can apply for a transportation waiver. It also outlines the circumstances under which the department can grant that waiver, one of which is when they're serving a unique population. As a school that is serving students primarily with dyslexia, we felt that met the criteria before we granted them that waiver, and we're just providing you guys with that update today.
Comments from members? Do we have any public comments? No public comments, no board comments, no opposition. Motion passes. Next item, please.
Your next item is on page 29, item 3.1, consideration of the management agreement between the RSD and Shreveport Charter Schools, Inc. for the continued operation of Linwood Public Charter School as an RSD direct run school for the 2023-2024 school year. The recommendation is to approve.
Motion, please. Ms. Holloway, second, Mr. Miller. Superintendent? Here.
Yeah.
Public comments? No public comments. Member comments? Is there any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. Next item.
That concludes your agenda.
We're adjourned. Thank you.